Welcome to the Salem State Library. Today we're going to talk about finding images and books on art. If we go to the Salem State Library homepage, salemstate.edu/library, you'll notice a link under Research, kind of in the middle of the page here, called Find Articles and More. Go ahead and click on Find Articles and More. And if we scroll down just a little bit, we get access links to databases. As I always tell students, database is just a fancy name for a place to find a finite number of articles or information on a particular subject matter. In this case, we want to find information on art-related materials. So under databases by name, we want to click on O because we're searching for Oxford Art Online. After I click on O, you'll notice that on the left-hand side there are links for the databases, and we want to scroll down until we find Oxford Art Online here, and go ahead and click on Oxford Art Online. Oxford Art Online is a new name. It used to be Grove Art, a collection of volumes that acted as an encyclopedia for all things related to art, and you used to go to the stacks to find that information. It then was Grove Art Online, but now Grove Art Online merged with a collection of other art resources from the Oxford family of publications to bring us 4 different collections that we search when we do a search. Now, with the exhibition on Man Ray and Lee Miller at the Peabody Essex Museum, we want to perhaps search something related to the exhibit. So if we go up top here, you'll see that there's a simple search. We just want to type in, for instance, Man Ray, and do a search to find out what information we can find on the artist. If I click search here, I get a list of results, 107 to be exact. But most of the ones of particular interest to us appear at the top. And I know, because Man Ray is an American artist, brought up in New York here, that the best place to find topics, information on American artists and American art movements is in Grove Art Online, which in fact was founded as a guide to American art early on. So let's click on the first one, and we'll notice that it's a biography, which perhaps might not be very useful if we were doing extensive research on Man Ray, but for the sake of the exhibit and this class, what we really want is to find background information on Man Ray. And we'll notice, for example, in the first paragraph that he was part of the Dada movement and the Surrealist movement. And you'll notice that the exhibit at the Peabody Essex Museum deals mostly with his work in the Surrealist movement. We also notice that as we scroll down and find additional information, we find out that he was a contemporary of Marcel Duchamp, one of the leaders of the Dada and Surrealist movements. Important to know, though, is even though we're not really interested in biographical background for research, we do want to place Man Ray within the context, historical context, or the time period in which he worked and operated. Gives us insight into his artwork and those he worked with, such as Lee Miller, for instance. And you'll notice on the left-hand side there's article contents. We get writings, photographic publications, and bibliography. Also important to know, so you can find some of the most important works related to Man Ray. Gives a good place to start. Good background information, albeit quick, brief, and then a bibliography so we know where else to look. What are those important works if we want to look for information on Man Ray? Important to note, although not evident here, is that oftentimes there's a list of a wide variety of publications, including exhibition catalogs on the larger movements such as Surrealism, Dadaism, as well as exhibition catalogs on Man Ray. And it's important to note that exhibition catalogs, unlike traditional books just on, for instance, Man Ray himself, offer insight into contemporary scholarship on the artist or the art movement and represent a collection of articles in many cases that are related to the exhibit that have to do with a particular theme or issue.